pick ban. He's always there, and the volley being picked in just to go toe-to-toe with that. The brothers in the top lane, if you know the lore, they are brothers of the Freljord, demigods going toe-to-toe on the top side. So overall, both sides kind of have similar ideas. They just have a little bit of deferring kind of, where the AD and where the AP is going.
Yeah, I just want to say I love IG's composition. Very, very clear idea what they want to do. This is a Taliyah combo comp. And if you guys haven't watched Season 11 competitive games, Taliyah is a strategy in and of itself. If you get Taliyah fed, she farms incredibly fast.
As you say, bog standard front-to-back team fight, and with the importance of so many of those kind of Drake fights that we see around the 15-20 minute mark, it's going to be even more important to get those advantages if you can. The Pantheon sets you up very nicely. I just really am curious to see how this kind of, almost mismatch of, IG regular and IG young kind of, roster kind of gel together versus a BLG, which is effectively the BLG B team that has just been together pretty much. It's almost certainly going to go into the LDL. So I'm curious to see if that difference in experience is going to make a difference in this game.
Yeah, honestly, on this riff, we have only 2 people that were LPL starters. It would be Puff and Ballin, and both of them are on the IG side of things. So this is a match that I think the teams are coming into this, and they're thinking about their future rosters. They're really trying to find out who's going to be the next star in their team, who's going to be a suitable, maybe a bench player or substitute player for their main squad. So, in this type of a setting, you actually do get the best out of these youngsters because they are really playing for their own futures.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of this as well, is that, overall, like, you get one shot against this IG or you get one shot against this BLG, because in this tournament, it's a single round robin. You don't get a do-over. So I feel like the drafts are solid for both teams. I do agree with you that IG's is slightly better, but it's about execution as well. We've seen this so many times, and I'm sure LS is someone who, racks his brain about it all the time if you watch him over in LCK. The better comp doesn't always necessarily win, because it's about how you execute on that comp that actually matters.
Hey, we're the League of Sinners, and nobody understands that better than the LPL. We love playing early game compositions, and talking about snowballing and getting things going, we do see the Dark Harvest coming out from Taliyah. That's a pretty strong signal that she's going to be playing as a main carry this game. And for you, all those that have been watching high Korean Challenger solo queue, if you look at the damage numbers, if you look at the gold numbers, it's actually pretty common for Taliyah jungles to be doing the most damage on the team and to have the most gold on the team as well. So we know we're being welcomed to Season 11 strategy right off the bat.
Yeah, already. Both the IG and the OP bot lane, trying to see him get a little bit aggressive. Doesn't quite have his run up to fit. This is going to play to try and maybe keep Puff at arm's length. With Nestor Alistair pretty damn safe. Not really an easy one to kind of go in onto. As you see Demon on top of this, Ornn already has got the early levels, and this is something we kind of didn't really have a chance to talk about, but the matchup of Volley versus Ornn, it's going to be Volley favored on pretty much until the team fights, and Volley needs to keep that Ornn down if he wants to keep it.
Exactly. This is actually sort of an LPL special. We don't see this in other regions so much, but during the Demacia Cup, the standard go-to counter pick for the Ornn actually has been this Volley Bear. Now, I do want to mention on pathing a little bit, Xun is coming down level 3 right ahead.
There we go. Flash in, headbutt down, pull away with the arcane tip. They do not really get any damage down there. Paladin goes down the first floor. That is over the Shin, though. They will trade. But this is a little bit of a disaster, if I'm being honest, for IG. They had this play, and they just weren't quick enough.
Yeah, and we do have to mention, Xun actually had a very unoptimized path to make this gank happen. I like the idea from IG, but unfortunately, they weren't able to trade away the flash from Abel on that first stun. That really made the difference right there. If Balan goes in, puts enough damage, and the flash comes out, then pretty much you're going to see Kai'Sa as a sitting duck when the Taliyah comes in. But that didn't really happen. They actually only get the support kill right here. But maybe they get more.
There it is. Double flash there, and you're going to be able to use the red and all these easy picks up there from mid lane. They are using a lot of flashes. You can see Palan over towards this top side, just trying to play keep away from the Taliyah jungle, because they know that this early pressure opens a gap elsewhere on the map. So I like this strategy.
Yeah, definitely a great play there. Xun coming up the river towards to his top side. And I feel like that was just kind of unexpected coming out from PLX here, because they pretty much knew by the CS count what Xun's pathing would be. Okay, so a little bit of the technical issues coming up, but I will be solo casting this tournament. We never really needed Penguin anyway.
How
I'm honest
dare
to you,
you? How
color casters
dare
do
you?
most
I
of the
will
work.
wait for
Wait
my
a minute, is
producer.
he back already?
I will wait for my producer to see if I am back or not, but I hope I am.
Okay.
We are good. Thank you so much, producer. We are back. Apologies for that, ladies and gentlemen. We had a little bit of an issue there. Unfortunately, myself and Simon, we are being, I would like to say, we're being hampered by the spillover in Ireland for a little bit of difference. It's now 3:25 in the morning for me. So, the technical issues, and our fantastic producers, obviously in Canada. So we have some issues that we need to figure out, but it's been good so far. But I feel like nothing else has really happened. So nothing, no foul, no harm. No harm, no foul. That's what I'm supposed to say.
Yeah, I think the only thing that we have seen is that IG's strategy is working out pretty damn well. Shin is getting off to a great start with that 1 kill and 1 assist. And for those of you that may not know this player, he is basically the next prodigy that has to be expected. He's kind of like the chosen one in terms of LDL junglers. He's currently sitting at rank 3 in Korean Challenger, and he has actually reached rank 1 before. Hyper carry jungler, a lot of players and a lot of organizations have kept their eyes on him, and the only reason that he's still he had been in the LDL was due to age restrictions. So this is kind of the debut showing to Shun maybe stepping up and becoming a starter on that IG roster.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be solo cast with me for a while, and just looking at the matchups again, I want to point out on this Volley Bear is that it's very interesting. We've been seeing mainly the tank build. However, we see the repeat tank coming in again. Both flashes up for BLG, so they should be able to get away with this one. At least Abel will be, and that's really the important one. Does have Pantheon come down and force the flash out of her again, denying her a lot of farm. And you gotta love the way IG has been playing this bottom lane. They're keeping the waves super close to themselves. Very easy for the roaming members of Talia and Pantheon to come up and just collect these kills. And honestly, this is getting kind of out of hand already. Talia off to a magnificent start. Sure, she's down CS, but that golden objective, more than enough, is going to be able to take over.
I think I'm back, Clement. I think I am back. I am getting a replay
Hello,
right now. Are you also
back.
getting a replay?
Yeah, I'm getting a replay right now. I'm just looking at the repeat gank that we're seeing in the bot lane. Another very easy to execute combo coming in from bot lane. He starts things up. There's double flashes on the side of BLG, but that isn't enough to save them a kill right there. And unfortunately, Shingmo does go down as a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, very kind of like coordinated dart. The only issue I'm seeing right now is that the FIG is getting these kills. They did pick up the dragon, but this isn't really going anywhere right now. You can see the power farming that's coming in from the Syndra and the Hecarim. It's really paying dividends for the side of BLG, keeping them within touching distance of this IG squad. And it's definitely something that BLG needs to kind of keep in the back of their head, that they're not as far behind as they keep.
Yeah, definitely. I think most of it does come down to best 16, just realizing that there's not much he can do for his bot lane. He's not really trying to match any of these ganks. He's just going to power farm and try to hit that Triforce spike like a lot of Hecarims are doing on this current patch, and then try to influence the map. Like, once he gets to Triforce, it's actually very easy for him to run down one of these solo lanes.
Absolutely. You got the onslaught of shadows, you come in, and it's so difficult if you do not have your summoners up to be able to counter that kind of engage, because he has so much kind of CC that just drives in the wrong direction. The fear, the knockback, absolutely everything. And he just does a huge amount of damage as well with that Triforce pop on top of his fuse. So overall, this feels like best is going to be kind of a mid-game solution here for the side of BLG, but they are kind of faster over this.
Kai'Sa is very slow. This is 5v4.
Land kind of just thinks there over the wall. It's 5v4. The Ornhorn just gets and Vladimir straight in a couple of twice before he flashes out almost immediately. Now the Kai'Sa is here and this Herald is blocked. And I don't really know who's doing coming out of this right now. With the advantage, the health are definitely in favor of IT. They're going to use the leader ball of trying to keep everybody away. But he has to stop it immediately. He's on fighting it. That's the post and everybody on the straight in. And they're dead. Everybody going to 1, 2, 3, 4 going to be going down. It's a double kill on top of the Kai'Sa. And that was disastrous from IG.
Oh my god. IG, on the initial salvo, they didn't manage to align their ultimates, didn't find the kills, and with BLG coming in with full ults, they just couldn't take the 5v5 anymore. It was a good idea while it was a 5v4, but unfortunately, due to the execution here, they weren't able to find that initial pickoff, that entry frag, and that just swung things way too far in the favor of BLG. Oh, all right, let's Penguin's not going to be with us, so we're going to have to go into solo cast mode. Let's look at the replay. I think the important thing to note here is that a lot of ultimates were burned at the start of this fight for IG. The 5v5 is coming in. They find the Talia right at the start of the fight. Pantheon goes down, basically doesn't have his invulnerability anymore, and gets kicked in the behind by the Hecarim coming back after the Talia kill, and that's basically all she wrote. So BLG off to a great 5v5 team fight, and this really reverses the situation in the bot lane already. Able to get to his first, no pun intended, mythic. The Kraken Slayer coming out so early is going to change things quite drastically, because we know on Season 11, once you hit that mythic, it's a massive power spike. It's the biggest power spike in the game, and it will change the way this lane is played out. Now, just taking a look at the bottom side right here, Shun is still trying to make a move here. It's going to be a 3v3 in the bot lane. Hecarim does come in time, but not able to save Abel from his fate, and it's going to be 2 in the favor of IG Gaming. All the members are coming in now. It's a full 10-man 5v5 into the bottom lane at this point. Both teleports burn right here. It's about the exit strategy for Ballland. Can he escape? Nope, CLX does manage to snipe him out, and it will be a 2 for 2, but wait a minute, Demon is still going in. Nene, can he get out of this? Is going to get the Unstoppable back in, and then XDZ goes back in with another kill, picks up his double buffs. And overall, after the dust has settled on that one, I do believe that IG gets the better end of that trade with the 3v2 in advantage. And a lot of summoners burned, a lot of turrets plating gone down, and a sweet taste of the LPL, you know, just giving everyone a reminder of what's to come. This is the LPL. We do 10-man bot lanes before the 10-minute mark. So let's go. Let's bring the action on. Just to go over the replay a little bit. Great entry frags coming in from IG. They get Abel, who was on his mythic power spike, out of the fight right at the get-go, so they are slightly favored here. However, CLX does use his flash to come in. I think that's going to play a very important part later into this game. Even tries to go in, but does get his shield. However, that's still not enough to keep him alive. Some great backline poke, and we are back into another team fight.
We're going to try and jump in on top of this, Clement, as we see the onslaught of shadows jumping in. They pick themselves up now, land, and we're going to see another kill there into Shun, who is now 3-3-2. 2 quick kills back for BLG, and they got themselves a 1,500 gold lead, and potentially this Infernal Drake. And do apologize, ladies and gentlemen, for the technical difficulties. This broadcast brought to you by 3 different continents across the world, so we are trying our very, very best. But Clement, I'm impressed with your play-by-play, my friend. It's fantastic.
Oh, you know,
it's fantastic.
I've been looking at your job for a long time.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I can feel the eyes in the back of my head. You don't even understand sometimes. But overall, you're looking at a huge kind of amount of fighting coming in here, and it doesn't feel like it feels more like IG than it does, you know, the IG are kind of over-forcing rather than BLG kind of being caught out.
Yeah, I think what we saw happen right there, coming back into the Drake fight, was probably IG not resetting and overstaying for the Drake. They get caught with their pants down, and BLG, when they are present and they're fighting you 5v5, it seems like they actually do have the advantage. You know, a lot of IG power is going to come in from those global ultimates. So I think what IG needs to do is they need to take a step back and think to themselves, you know what? We actually have to play the numbers game. We have to go in first, get the first kills, and then we should head out. We don't want to still be there while the rest of BLG can make counterplays here. So I think they're going to be looking for swift plays. They're going to be looking for this opportunity, while Syndra and Volibear don't have their teleports anymore and continue to make plays. You know, their problem isn't with the play themselves, their problem is overstayed.
But also, you look at these, as you say, the overstaying, but even just looking at where the game state is right now, you've got the Triforce and the Mercury Treads onto the Hecarim. He's hitting a spike right now. As you said, the Kraken Slayer onto the Kai'Sa, versus the only real person who has a completed Mythic is that Ornn with the Sunfire Cape. Yes, you got the Manamune on top of the Ezreal, but Puff's not going to be able to do much with that. So overall, BLG, they're feeling comfortable coming into this mid-game, and they're going to be the ones that are really kind of forcing the issue. It just feels like, I feel like IG just need to calm down just a tiny bit, just a little bit, bring the aggression back a little bit, and just look for those opportunistic kills to really bring themselves back into it.
Yeah, they're still in the laning phase. They still have that potential to basically pin targets down onto the side lanes, and I think that's what they should be going for. Just keep their lanes pushed out and use Talia to kind of help if they need to, and then just swivel into one of these side lanes and basically pick up kills that way. I think that's a fairly easy to execute game strategy, and now they have all the teleports on cooldown. That's what they should be going for.
Overall, let's have a quick look at the kind of kill and goal distribution, and you can see there the Talia finally getting that Luden's Echo, but of course it's, you know, kind of matched, I suppose, with CLX on the Syndra. You've got plenty of kind of tanky stats coming in for the Volibear and the Leona versus you know, the Alistar and the Ornn. So overall, it does feel like both teams are feeling very even right now. The Gore Drinker finish up for the Pantheon. He's going to be feeling pretty good. So I feel like we could maybe have a pretty big kind of explosive fight coming up very soon if they're able to kind of find that one little bit. Oh, Shun. Oh, they're going to go straight on top of him. There's the Onslaught of Shadows. They're going to jump straight in there with the Killer Instinct as well. Solar Flare down onto XZZ, but he is just a little bit further away from it, so will not get stunned. But that's just a quick kill, and that's what we're talking about. Get those quick kills, get them done. You get the objective.
Between two towers even. That was very sick to watch. But however, I don't like this macro play overall from BLG because they are giving up a lot of tower HP, and it wasn't guaranteed that they would actually be able to find that kill onto Shun. There was a bit of luck in that, and I think Shun's a very new player that's coming on onto the Rift, so he probably didn't expect with the bot lane missing for there to be so many members chasing him behind his own tower. Overall, this actually brings the gold lead a little bit closer into IG's favor, and this is kind of the LPL thing where I do think newer teams tend to overforce onto the Herald objective.
That being said, I do agree with you. It's kind of tower damage now versus potential tower damage later, I suppose. As we can see, they're going to try and go for this. TP is coming in off the back of this. They have to try and back away. There's not really that big of a minion wave, and you've got Puff with very little mana. There is a dragon spawning in about a minute's time, so that's two big ultimates down. They need to get them back very soon. They did get the teleport out of Demon, but overall, IG pulling the trigger. BLG very much ready for it.
I don't understand what IG is doing. I feel like it's okay if you try to do the pin downs on the side lanes. It's much harder for people to actually rotate and be in position. But using crucial ultimates right before the Drake is coming up is a bit of a head scratcher for me. I don't think Balan is going to be able to have his, I think, Unbreakable Will up. And maybe the Ornn ultimate is going to come up, but they're going to be lacking some front lines here. So the IG strategy right now is pretty much to get a pick before BLG are in position to contest the Drake.
And that's the thing as well. You're not only giving up the Drake kind of pressure with the ultimates, you had to give up mid lane pressure as well because everyone needed to reset. You didn't really have the mana or the items at the moment. So you had to go back and try and just, you know, kind of set this one up. That mid lane turret will fall down to that Rift push. So there's more pressure in favor of BLG. Ornn top side has got TP, but no real kind of crazy flanks for him to go for. He could go towards the bot side with that minion wave pushing. Never mind, he's going to use it straight away. And we could see just a straight up 5v5 as this Dragon's down to about 50% HP.
At a really weird start of the fight from IG. They knew that the Drake fight was coming, but in we go on Demon's part.
Onslaught of Shadows straight away, and there's two people dead on the side of IG. They are going to get the knockup from Baolan, but he's just not tanky enough to really save the rest of his team. Ornn is dead. It's going to be XZZ soon to follow. That's going to be the Dragon, the team fight, the Baron potentially going over to BLG as well. And this is just falling apart for IG.
That was terrible from IG. They knew that they wanted to contest the Drake fight, but they still sent Ornn top side. he has to use teleport. He comes in still with no ultimate, and they just get straight up engaged on by BLG. You know, great synergy coming in from the Onslaught of Shadows into the Kai'Sa ultimate to reach the back lines and just finish off targets. But honestly, this is blunders upon blunders on IG's part from the macro side.
What
this
is
is just
Weaver's wall?
not the correct setup. And yeah, they wanted to find a catch on CLX. CLX just backs away up into Vision, and a great double ultimate, triple ultimate actually, into the front line of IG, and they're able to take out Baolan. He has no ultimate. Easy cleanup from the side. Pantheon had it, hasn't even got a chance to use the man drop, and that's all she wrote. So I don't know what IG was thinking, but it doesn't seem like they were thinking very far ahead.
That's the problem as well. I feel like Shun's kind of getting a little bit of jitters on the main stage here. We talked about how hyped up he would be within the, you know, kind of a context of #3 in the Korean challenger scene, doing very, very well, very hyped up in LDL. But overall, he's kind of felt a little bit trigger happy, and it seems that his, you know, Talia hasn't really been the best. You're looking at 3-5-2 versus a 5-1-8 on the side of BLG for best, and this Hecarim is absolutely mad. Everyone on the side in terms of carries for the side of BLG are massive right now. As you can see, they're just trying to split the map a little bit. They've got 2 people top, but nobody's going to go and try and answer them, as they're very, very happy with having Syndra down the bot side and trying to look to just try and defend this mid lane.
Yeah, this is IG is trying to make a play out of nothing right here, and if they do trade the top lane tower, it will be, I think, a good bonus from there. What they're trying to do is they're trying to overload the map where they have the globals and the numbers advantage to maybe force BLG to overstay and make a play that way, and here we see Baolan coming in, exactly the play we're talking about.
So hard though to catch out of, you know, Volibear. He's got that ultimate just to keep him safe. They do get the TP out of the Syndra, and now everyone else is going into the jungle. There is the killer instinct straight away. The cleanse has to be burned straight off, but the Hecarim just pounces himself in. The Talia is dead. The Ezreal is gone. The only one left to deal the damage is the Pantheon, but he does not want to be a part of this fight. It's another 4 kills to nothing to going over in favor of the side of BLG. He can't even kill off Shinmo, and that is just unbelievably overforced from the side of IG, and they'll lose the Baron for it.
Yeah, it was all or nothing kind of Hail Mary play, and they put themselves in a very bad position. Shimo recognizes that the Kai'Sa can follow up instantly. Once Abel can get to the backline, there's really nothing that Xun or Puff can do to get away from him. And it was also a very good collapse on the side of Best 16. So we're going to see another team fight mop-up coming in from BLG, just taking things cool, letting IG overextend themselves, and dealing the killer blow. I like the idea here from IG. However, none of their damage dealers were really in position. Xun wasn't able to land any damage. Puff was nowhere near. And when they're trying to exit the enemy jungle, they get caught with their pants down completely. No one can actually take down Best 16 at this point. And when you have a Volibear and a Hecarim running amok rear on your backline, that's just like a menagerie of death happening.
Yeah, I feel like Puff was trying to play bodyguard, but mate, you're an Ezreal. Like, you're not really going to be able to do much into this very, very, you know, high DPS team that can just run at you. The Leona, the Hecarim, the killer instinct, you know, shotgun, let's go from Kai'Sa. There's so much you're able to just kind of, you know, use to stop you from being able to play that kind of bouncer bodyguard kind of setup that there's no real point in you going for it. And with the dragon spawning very, very soon, it just feels like this game it's gone away from them. They're 6,000 gold behind. They don't really have the items picked up, really. The Pantheon is very, very much falling off right now. So overall, IG, they just feel like they're panicking.
Yeah, Pantheon is not a champion that scales well, or scaled well with Gore Drinker for that matter, and I think he's getting caught out right here. Will he be able to make his escape? So does his flash up, so that's fine, but this Baron push coming in from BLG, I love the pathing they took, perfectly in sync with the minion wave coming in, and they're going to take a free tower.
Free tower, dragon spawning. They force the Ornn to come back, so he's not pushing the top lane anymore. They get some vision control now into this red side jungle. It's all BLG. IG right now need one of 2 things. They need to absolutely, completely outplay BLG in a team fight, which hasn't really happened as of yet, or they need a massive mistake from BLG to really try and find themselves come back into this game.
I will say for IG's part that they can still play a front-to-back team fight. What they have to be very careful about is not letting Puff or Xun get hit by that initial CC. We've been seeing beautiful crowd control chains from BLG, Onslaught of Shadows, straight directly into the Kai'Sa ultimate to basically snipe out the backline. However, if IG keep their distance and keep that Ornn in front, they could still potentially sort of poke out BLG and kind of slow this push.
Oh, Puff very, very close to being caught by that Scout of the Week, and you can see with these Baron minions, which will be going away very shortly, they are just taking all the outer structures they possibly can. There is only one tier 2, and then the rest are inhibitor turrets. But importantly for IG, they have not lost their inhibitor turrets. They are very, very important to not crack the base. You can keep that going, you still have a chance. Now, everyone from BLG resets, they get themselves some more items. They are going to be so damn powerful coming into this lane. And this is kind of the trade-off that you talked about the Ornn. We talked about it in private as well. The Ornn is just not as good in those team fights. Oh, they're going to try and jump straight on the Demon. He's going to jump straight back in on top of them, though. The Onslaught of Shadows straight in, and they're just going to force flashes away from the tanky Ornn. And he tries to get in on top of them. Everyone just jumping in. It's a scrappy, scrappy fight. Flash is being burned. The Killer Instinct shotgun, though, as they're going to go straight in. He flashes over the wall. They will be able to kill the Kai'Sa, but at what cost? It is going to be a shutdown for everybody else. And you're on the wrong side of the map, Pantheon. They might look just to try and burst open this game.
Oh, it looked so good for such a long time. IG was able to kite out. They got the initial damage on Demon, but then Abel lands the killing blow, going straight into the back line, knowing that most of the crowd control is not there to limit him, and he basically breaks open that team fight by himself. I actually really like the teamfight setup that IG was doing. They're basically trying to catch people getting Baron vision, and they were able to get a large chunk of damage, and the position that they were holding was actually very comfortable. There was only one direction that BLG could have come from, and you could see the initial onslaught of shadows did not actually tag Puck. So it was looking really good for a while. Yeah, it was looking like they actually had this for a while, but we just have to wait and see how Abel is actually capable of picking his moment to go straight into the backline, and waits a lot of crowd control and allows the rest of BLG to basically walk through IG.
That was BLG slapping IG with their wallet, basically. At that point, it was we have too much money over you that you just can't do anything about this. So sorry that you had a great idea. It doesn't matter. We are 9,000 gold ahead, and you can see with the Baron spawning in 1 minute 13, you can see BLG moving towards this area, making sure they've got the vision control, making sure they got the scuttle to get the vision, the lanes as well pushed in their favor. Overall, this is just a smart, kind of by the numbers kind of win coming in here from the side of BLG. Again, though, I must say, like you said, there's a very strong front-to-back team fight for the side of IG, and there's not that much that BLG can take outside of these neutral objectives right now.
Yep, I think BLG is just going to play a waiting game, and maybe if IG get too attached to their towers, then they will strike, but only under that circumstances. I do want to talk about BLG's composition. This is something that we're seeing a lot with Kai'Sa comps. It works with Malphite, it works with Galio, it works with Orianna. Basically, you have a lot of frontline distraction, frontline tanks. Even the Ornn works, you engage, and then the Kai'Sa goes in, followed up with more CC, typically attached to her, like the Galio we were talking about. But generally, what we're seeing is Galios are not... sorry. Fight's going in.
That's an unfortunate time there, and he just got picked off, didn't have flash, couldn't get away from it. Baron is spawning in 3 seconds. This is Baron almost certainly going over to the side of BLG unless IG really want to try and contest for some kind of crazy steal. They know it's been started. They have got the midwave pushed up, and they have got globals available. The Weaver's Wall is there if they want to try and go for something, but I just feel like they just need to, they're just going to give it up and try and take as much as they can.
Yeah, just getting the tower, maybe setting up some vision for the Drake. The timers will not allow them to actually take this one out, but maybe they can search for an exit kill here. Nope, everyone gets back on the same time. So perfect reset from BLG. And what I wanted to finish my comment about Kai'Sa about was that we're actually not seeing many front-to-back Kai'Sas. There's been a majority of AD builds, and this works better with assassination onto the back line, especially when you see someone picking up something like the Storm Razors with the extra slow. That is meant to make sure that whatever target she's tagged down to dies.
Yep, and she got the QSS for that extra bit of safety as well. So overall, this BLG team are ready to fight. This is Soul Point and Ocean Soul. I don't think you can go anywhere near this if you're on the side of IG. You are so damn far behind of the power curve as such that there's just no way you can contest it. And now that Volley Bear and Heck will become even harder to try and burn through because they have so much goddamn sustain. And I don't really know. There's absolutely no kind of anti-heal. Well, there is now. The Pantheon just picked up an Executioners, but very little anti-heal coming in, so that Ocean Drake's gonna pay massive dividends.
Yeah, this Pantheon build to me, it just feels like a bit of a waste because this is basically the tank version of the Pantheon build. Usually when we see Pantheons go mid, it's usually the lethality items to increase his damage. But he knows his side laning global days are gone, and he's just trying to be a beefy boy.
That's the tankiest member on the entire team, and here is the final fight. They're going to try and use the Orn Horn to try and keep everybody safe. The Leona goes down, but the Talia has fallen. Puff is untouched on the backside, trying to put down as much damage as he possibly can, but Abel is just chasing him away. The Alistair is gone. The Zhonya's has been hit by the Syndra. They're going to push that straight onto the Pantheon. It is 4 kills to 1 overall. BLG going to be taking this game and getting themselves their first win in Group D.
BLG coming up with a massive upset, really. They're not running any of their starters that are designated for their 2021 spring LPL roster. However, the young guns showing up and making a statement for themselves. You got to feel happy about this team. You got to feel proud for them. There's a rookie, you know, he is on this roster. He is on the name list for the participants of the Demacia Cup. So if XCZ, let's be honest, didn't have a great showing this game, I think once the early game got out of hand, there really wasn't much for a semi-tank Pantheon to do anymore. Maybe Rookie can come back and fix some of the issues and show us some of that jungle mid synergy that we want to see out of this new roster. Taking a look at the game score and the end game statistics, early on they did find some good kills with Shun. It looked like the Talia strategy was going to work.